let's go through this, man. Let's go through one sleeper each position that I like. Just jumping out at me on paper. This is just off-season stuff, off the cuff a little bit. Again, the rankings, my 16-round draft session comes out in, you can pre-order it now, but the first release video is in May. But I'm going to give you guys one sleeper at each position that I like that's jumping out at me. And again, this is going to change once the draft happens, once the rookies come in, once free agency, all the moves and shifts. Once I know this information, bam, I'm going to be able to spot out the next Laporta. We'll be able to go through this, and we're going to find the winners, okay? And I'm going to lay it out in 16 rounds. So, quarterback. Let's go through this, guys. Quarterback, I'm going to give you guys one per each position. The guy that jumps out at me, he's not really a sleeper, but he is kind of, is Jordan Love. He's out of the top 10. He could be that anchor, that ace quarterback that you can get. You don't have to spend a third-round pick on. That is very important. While everyone's drafting Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, you're going to be looking at Jordan Love, potentially. Again, he's the guy that kind of is jumping out at me right now. Okay, so that's my quarterback. I'm going to give you guys one at each position. Now, there's a ton more sleepers we talked about a little bit in the show. If you guys watch the full live, talked a little bit about it, but I'm going to lay this all out in 16 rounds. You always got to get an ace quarterback, always, and get a backup quarterback with upside. Last year, mine was Herbert, and I had Goff. And in one league, I had Goff, and I had Jordan Love in a 2-quarterback league where I got him for value while everyone's getting quarterbacks early. Anyway, you guys get it. I knew who the good guys were going to be. Okay, and Jordan Love finished 5th amongst quarterbacks. 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Pretty decent ratio. 319 points. And he's the 11th quarterback right now amongst quarterbacks. And, it's a good deal, I think. Looking at running backs here. Man, I'm going to give you one running back. Man, this is tough. I love a lot of running backs. But the guys jumping out at me initially here, there's a ton of sleepers at running back, mind you, but not as many as wide receiver. I want to get this out of my system here. You have to get a running back with minimal committee. And as you can see, there's only a minimal amount of them. There's only a minimal amount of them, right? Christian McCaffrey, who I told you is going to decline this year. Breece Hall, I love him. By Jan. Gibbs is going to be sharing committee. Taylor, we don't know. Kyron has a ton of ceiling. We're going to have to see what happens there with the draft. ATN, yeah, he's okay. Barkley on the Texans would be attractive if he ends up there. Adchain's okay. Miami running backs are not crazy about. Rachaad White is boring. He's safe and boring, not exciting. Again, as you can see, not many workhorse running backs. But a sleeper, again, this is just preliminary initial talk, is Stevenson. I think Stevenson, they got a new head coach. If you guys don't know, Jared Mayo. If you guys don't know who Jared Mayo is, former linebacker, Pro Bowler 2010, played on the Patriots, I think, for 8 seasons. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know my linebacker stats too well. And he's a new coach, Jared Mayo. And I think they hired him internally. I think he was, under Belichick. But either way, Stevenson has come out and said he wants to be a 3-down back. Now, mind you, Stevenson was only like a 4th-round pick. He's not like overly boom type explosive, and a guy that he's no Breece Hall, but predicated on what the Patriots do at the draft, you can get a nice sleeper there in Stevenson as your RB3 potentially 2-3, and he could be a workhorse back. He's saying, "Give me the ball, feed me." So Patriots, maybe they change the script. Maybe hey, man, we're going to start going with the workhorse running back. If that's the case, this could be very interesting for a sleeper in Stevenson. So that's going to be my one sleeper I'm going to give you guys right now at the running back position. Moving on to the wide receiver position. And, man, there's so many sleepers here, dude. I can go on for days with value, but I'm going to give you one. And you're going to say, well, Joe, he's not really a sleeper. But last year, he was going literally undrafted with the last pick. We were getting him in the last pick. I told you to get him in all your leagues, is Tank Dell. Tank Dell's currently sitting 23rd right now amongst wide receivers. Now, I love Nico Collins, and both these guys could be the one. I think Dell has a little more upside. He was banged up last year, still had put up good numbers, great talent, young, dynamic. He ain't the fastest. He's not he's not the best wide receiver, but he's got heart. And he's a great route runner, creates great separation. He's a good player, man. And He's got CJ Stroud thrown to him, and I can get this guy for good value. He's like 23rd on the rankings. Wild, man. That's a good deal. There's Marvin Harrison Jr. Going to be interesting to see where he lands as well. Sitting 22nd on the Kinshipsas. Very interesting. And there's their golden boy, Cooper Kupp and Higgins. These guys, first round pick last year, second round pick. Both guys I told you to avoid last year. There they are. First and second round. Okay. So there you go. Tank Dell. Now, tight end. This is where it gets interesting. I got to have to see what happens with the draft. I'm just going to give you guys a tight end that's going to be decent value, not necessarily a major sleeper. But I'm going to go with Jake Ferguson here, sitting at number 12 with Dallas. CeeDee Lamb is going to decline a little bit coming off that monster season. I think targets got to start shifting other ways. Ferguson had 102 of those targets. You know, unless they bring in a wide receiver that's, you know, on par or like, you know, rookie, like a Harrison or something like that, it's going to be on par with CeeDee Lamb. You know, Ferguson's going to get his share of targets. So, Ferguson finished 9th last year, 102 targets, 71 receptions, 5 touchdowns, 177 points PPR. Jake Ferguson as a decent value tight end this year that you can get. I think Michael Mayer, too, is a bonus one for you. But, again, it's all going to be dependent on how the NFL draft's going to fizzle out. So if you are new, if you guys, again, you guys are the 300, the Spartans, the Alphas, make sure you guys do turn on the bell. Let's get the snowball rolling. It's fantasy offseason, the dead of season. We're going to keep ramping up. Make sure you guys subscribe, grab the 16-round draft solution, and make sure you guys get a ticket to the Fantasy Sports Summit. Tajay Spears already confirmed your automatic entry ticket and win a PS5, which is going to be announced at the actual summit. We're going to do lives. We're going to have fun, live mock drafts. All the optimal players are going to be submitted there at the summit as well. Tell you who I like, all the sleepers, everything's going to be laid out at the Fantasy Sports Summit along with NFL athletes. It's going to be wild, man. It's going to be a wild time. So, yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed. Thumbs up. Turn on that bell. I'm going to be doing these lives more often. It's a lot of fun, man. It really is. Again, but making sure you guys turn on the bell, thumbs up, and interact is huge for me. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for staying. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And, yeah, man, it's going to be a big, big year. I appreciate you guys. Subscribe, thumbs up. There's some sleepers for you. Very early talk. Things are going to fizzle out once the NFL draft happens. To the Lions in here, I appreciate you. I'll see you guys later.